Synchro Destiny and Deepak Chopra, how to inline favoritize elements of nonsensical dilemmas that could reside in terms of their expulsion from the very notions of understanding, rather synchronize a better destiny without its fortune. So where is its fortune necessary in terms of the proof that that fortune requites of its demands on others to see them in the face of? Why is something uncanny always resisted when it can rather persist in its favors of reality, where the place is given towards its climb? What would a seminar look like with someone of my kind in terms of the psychoses that elaborate the nonsense that can find something of its produce? I'm not sure. Why am I saying I? I don't exist here in terms of IDR. Indefinite is the term that initially was condensed to the letter, of course. 13. The 12 apostles under God, or the instances of T, or what? Of Bobo under the sigma function, but this time with the bar proposed as a possibility on it in between. Attachment, what can't be crossed, and what seals its fortune as a matter of proof as only. So what does it demand of its crowdfunding, that it returns as an exponential function that had to increase its value and return by a reasonable amount of time to capture the subject's interest and calculate its average function of focus and make it 4 times increase in such a short amount of time that the interest being lacking, turning elsewhere at that moment, had thricefold been reduced so that it could not even be conceived. Attachment, transference, and identification in the discursive fabric, exaggeration by approximation. Why not just approximate what hadn't been done yet if it were to introduce itself to something where it perhaps could better translate its material grasp of stocks and bonds and how to progress in these words, not after the value is decreased in the first curve, but following it past the minor 10 to 20% decrease. Past this point, an increase should be found from its slight margins of decrease, and at this point, 2/3 fold increase should be seized, and this is the proper moment to sell what stocks had been retrieved, to assure return that would what type of investments and what types of interests and what fads and energies were already calculated in advance, not by my own doing, but in those interested in the fads of the generations that had lasted long or short times, but long enough to assure a certain finding of some certain right given by the one willing to take it, and that's a right but in accord to strength, or the energy attributed to identification. Attachment, transference, and identification in the discursive fabric. The what? The ruins? I'm not sure, it's going to be that for now. The infinite is disguised infinite. The infinite world never repeats itself because it is never ending. So here are a few sources. On the left-hand column are seeming social networks to create accounts likely under the same brand name so that they can be easily accessible, and perhaps under Google, which seems to have an in space where you can inscribe that same account and make use of it on a different platform. Google Plus, Twitter, SoundCloud, Khan Academy, Tumblr, Blogger, Soho, Blogger, Definite Reality, yeah, so to include in there a place for profiles, free hosting, noads.net, easy website builders, CSS editing, FileZilla, comment box, forums, and those were the things I was looking up on how to solve at that moment after having started the creation of the first models of the version control of that stupid named website that I like to insist upon nonetheless. Fractalfoundation.org, widgets, which to use, posting public domain laws so that I can know which texts I can read and how to go about fair use in terms of returning a study that's denser than its borrowed content. So, confusion about how it works since Canada is 50 years after after author's death, and in other countries it might be 70 and over. How does that make relation to those in other countries making use of a Canadian-based website? Is international law still demanding of international websites to? So the solution to that was merely to suggest on the site that the content provided is only free under whatever laws in said countries, and under which such 50-year extensions are the same, which is the general model, but it might have been the States or France that was 70 plus years, I forget. Does Canada's law apply? Am I held accountable? So if the information is provided about which countries that material is provided under to public domain, it should be more than sufficient to provide a layer of protection around which operation of reading was to that extent of crystallizing property. Boop.